Hi, welcome along to AFTV. I'm Pippa Monique, and this is the Women's Football Show. Now, on Tuesday evening, we saw 22 teams battle it out in the group stages of the Continental Tires Cup. And Arsenal faced Chelsea, an opponent that we don't look forward to playing anymore because in the last 6 games, they've beaten us in all competitions. Now, if we throw it back to last year's Conti Cup, both teams were actually in the final that took place at the City Ground in Nottingham. And I actually attended that game with Robbie, and I still have my programme. It was a very interesting game. If you remember correctly, we didn't have much of a squad at the time due to injuries. And our bench was full of academy players. Not full, actually. It was about 3 players on the bench, whereas Chelsea had a full squad and were the dominant team in that game. Beth England opened up the scoring. And then we got a late equaliser thanks to Leah Williamson in the 85th minute, I believe. And then Beth England again took it home with a last-minute goal in injury time. And then the game finished 2-1. And that was the end of our Conti Cup run, which, you know, we done well. We got to the final. But once again, it was Chelsea that beat us. Now, on Tuesday night, Arsenal faced Chelsea again, this time away to Kingsmeadow. And if we look back to the title-winning side in 2018-19, where Arsenal women lifted the trophy, in that same season, they beat Chelsea away 5-0, and it was a game where we lost one of our key players, Kim Little, the captain in the midfield, due to a horrendous tackle from Drew Spence. And we had so many injuries that season as well, but we managed to beat them 5-0 at their ground. And since then, I don't know what exactly has gone wrong because we haven't been able to really get a win on them. As I said before, they've won 6 times in a row now. And Tuesday's game wasn't any better. I mean, the game started off quite fairly, quite equally, with a goal apiece. Chelsea opened up the goal scoring and Caitlin Ford rocketed one in a few minutes later. But then Guru Rayton scored again, and then of course Bethany England. And now Guru Rayton is one of, if you watched my top 10 WSL players of last season, she was in the top 5 because she is a quality player that doesn't get spoken about enough in that Chelsea side. Because that Chelsea side does have a lot of quality, and I feel like she's one of the names that goes under the radar. But she found the score sheet twice against Arsenal on Tuesday, and the game ended 4-1. Like I said, with the opening goal from Magdalena Eriksson, 2 goals from Gura Rayton, a goal from Bethany England, and on our side, a goal from Caitlin Ford, which was the beauty of a goal. Not sure if any of you would have seen it because there was no fans in the stadium, of course, but not only that, it was not televised and it was not accessible to anyone, anywhere, unless you were a journalist at the game. Now, normally I would be a journalist at the games and go to these games, but I didn't go on Tuesday evening. So I have to give a big shout out to all of the women's football journalists in the WOSO community that travelled up and down the country to cover as many of these games as possible. There was Liverpool, Manchester United, there was Manchester City, Everton, there was Tottenham, London City, which are 2 teams in our group, in Group B. Brighton, West Ham, Aston Villa, all these games. So all the journalists that went to these games, I have to give you so much credit because if it wasn't for you guys, we would have no idea how these games went. Now, I don't know where this leaves women's football at the moment. I mean, in the WSL, we're doing just fine. We've got the FA Player. The games are being televised. We have access to those games. But in a competition as big as this is the women's equivalent to the Carabao Cup. This is the League Cup, right? And for it to not be accessed anywhere is a damn shame for women's football fans around the world, and especially in the UK, that want to watch their teams in this competition. Now, there were some journalists that expressed how they felt on Twitter. Susie Rack from The Guardian who says, honestly, a number of us journalists have made the trip, some to multiple games in a day. Big up you, big up your petrol, your time, your dedication, amazing. To cover Continental Cup fixtures that have not been broadcast by the FA or by clubs. Some, including myself with one fluke clip of a goal for Spurs earlier, have now been told by Chelsea that the FA have been in touch and we must stop posting any video content. I should stay quiet, but I seriously cannot take the ridiculousness of this situation. I really can't. We've given fans a tiny visual slice of events. So sorry to the fans. And to clarify too, I don't usually live tweet games or take video at all. I took one clip of a free kick during the Spurs game and a couple of others took a tiny bit of a match action here at Kingsmeadow. It's not like this is a regular infringement broadcast deal or anything, which is true because normally at Premier League games, WSL games that are being televised, you are not able to film the pitch or film the game and broadcast it anywhere else because it is an infringement on copyright. But these games are not being televised and fans want to see what's going on. So how is a 10-second clip of a free kick detrimental to the FA or for anyone else involved. I think it was quite unfair that the FA got in contact and said that, because fans just want, even if it's a 10-second clip, they just want to see their team in action. Now, of course, as always, after the game, Joe Montemurro attended a press conference, and Jessica Crichton from Sky Sports News asked him a question about the fans, and here's what he had to say.
Well, the fans is obviously the a thing beyond all our control. So that's obviously a restriction that needs to be put in place for the health and safety of people. I think all games should be shown, all games should be streamed. The more we have women's football on television, the more we expose the great sport that it is. And I thought it was a very, very good game today, a very, very good footballing match. And obviously Chelsea have brought in the world's best players and have the stocks of many players that people want to see. So I think there should be a standard that these games should be shown on television.
Considering the Arsenal players had a fair few chances as well, could have possibly scored a few more goals, do you think they'll feel frustrated? Will it be hard for them to pick themselves back up after this mentally?
No, not at all. We're very strong in our beliefs. We're very strong in the confidence. I'm proud of each individual out there tonight under the circumstances. The scheduling hasn't been exactly kind for us in terms of backing up games. The reality is that they're still in recovery mode, and then they've got to back up a game against a super squad like Chelsea. So I have no doubt that the players will take a lot of confidence out of this game and continue to move forward.
And of course, he was also asked about the continuous losses against Chelsea and how Arsenal build after that. And here is what Joe had to say.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's each adventure against Chelsea seems to bring another story. I'm not here sitting and making excuses, that's for sure. But I think the most important thing for us is to continue to play our football, and hopefully there'll be a couple of things fall our way. As I said, if I'm going to be judged on my results against Chelsea, well, then I'll be judged against my results against Chelsea. It's as simple as that. I have to take the medicine and keep the players believing that we are a good footballing side. I think we showed it tonight, and that with a little bit of things going our way a little bit earlier, we might get them done. But again, we keep reviewing and we keep coming in with the belief that we're progressing against this.
Now, with Tuesday night's result against Chelsea, that now means we are bottom of Group B with games against Tottenham Hotspur and London City still to be played. That's right, another North London derby. There's more North London derbies coming the Arsenal women's way. Hopefully we can win that one again, because we kicked them out of the FA Cup. Now we've definitely got a win against them, because they won 4-0 against London City. So they're sitting comfortably in the table for now. And of course, we have to play London City as well. I'll give you a rundown of the other fixtures and what the score results were. So Liverpool faced Man United. Liverpool won 3-1. Tottenham 4, London City 0. Chelsea 4, Arsenal 1. Manchester City 3, Everton 1. Durham 5, Coventry United 2. Bristol City 4, London Bees 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham 2. And the game ended 4-2 on penalties to West Ham. Reading 4, Charlton 0. Aston Villa 1, Sheffield United 0. Lewis 1, Crystal Palace 2. Blackburn Rovers 0, Birmingham City 1. Those were the results of the first set of group stage games in the Continental Tires Cup. We face, as I said, Tottenham and London City next. Hopefully we can get out of that group. It's looking quite difficult now with the score lines of Chelsea 4, Arsenal 1, and Spurs beating London City 4-0. So we're going to need to get lots of goals in the games against Spurs and London City, and definitely get a win. But moving on to the WSL, we have Brighton and Hove Albion in the WSL on Sunday. We're back into WSL action, and that is what Joe said in the press conference is the main focus right now is WSL. I mean, I don't know how fans feel about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure fans enjoy winning all types of trophy, especially a fan of Arsenal Women's Football Club, or Arsenal Football Club as a general, because Arsenal women are so used to winning competitions like this. I said it before, 5 out of 9 Conti Tyres Cups, 14 FA Cups, so these games are equally as important. But Joe did say that WSL is the main focus right now. We face Brighton and Hove, and I'm expecting nothing less than 3 points on the board. No pressure. That's all for me this week. That is all your Arsenal women's updates. Hopefully we can get back to winning ways against Brighton on the weekend. Stay tuned to AFTV for more women's football content on this channel, and I will see you next week.
It's Robbie here from AFTV. Don't forget to check out AFTV on Flick for all the latest transfer rumours, for all the information on Arsenal, for all the information on AFTV. You can check me there for Q&As on a regular basis. The link is in the description. It is free to download. Download it right now.